Hi and welcome to the Market Alert for Tuesday, the 23rd of Feb 2021. So big tech, Bitcoin and the dollar battered as commodities crash up. Be careful what you wish for. S&P's longest losing streak in a year, and this is what we're talking about here is inflation, or the prospect of inflation, which is going to come at some point, and that's going to be a real crippler across the whole of the global economy when it does turn up. The Fed will get its wish, try and inflate its way out of debt, but unfortunately everybody else is going to get crushed. But then again, that's generally the Fed, isn't it? Let's face it. So on the implied volatility front yesterday, this down slightly from 1716 to 1710. You'd expect a bit more given that the markets managed to bounce off major support yesterday and move back to the upside, which we'll just look at in just a moment. And also still remaining green at this time. But the market is really struggling to move higher at the moment. And it's down really, in my opinion, to the fact that the market is simply waiting to see how much and when the Fed is going to print, or the Treasury are going to print in this stimulus package. So at the moment you can see why it's sideways in this range, because it's important to keep the market moving to the upside. I mean, there have been occasions where they've slammed the market down to speed things up a bit. You know, the market's crashing, the Fed need to intervene, but it doesn't appear to be happening at the moment. What's going to be really interesting is when the deal is done and it's signed off. What comes after that, when you've had 1.9 trillion added back into the market, a so-called stimulus package? What happens when there is nothing else left and these valuations are sitting at these levels? What other good news is there going to be in order to move the market to the upside and allow it to continue to create these melt-ups and these all-time highs for stocks? It will certainly be interesting. The market already struggling here at 89%, which I've just drawn in from this high to this low as well. And this is normally where you would get this and then down, up, and then move to the downside. But as the 1.9 trillion is waiting in the wings, as it were, then this is likely to continue to move to the upside. I'll just draw this one in here. It needs to take out the all-time high that we have there of 31,721. So heading towards that 32,000 for the Dow. Meanwhile, in the German DAX, let's have a look at the daily charts. And yesterday you can see the market trading all the way down to the 827 level, which came off the, is it the 10th of February? Yeah, 10th of February low. The market traded just slightly below this. It'll be interesting when we look at yesterday's analysis, what happened here. And then prices moving back. And again, you can see it's slightly weaker than the Dow. The sideways move is here. And prices will need to move back to the upside also to take out these recent highs. Now I'm just going to draw from here down to yesterday's low to see where a new set of fibs will be. So the market is currently through the 34 and sitting at the 50, but it has been as high as 62. We'll need to take this out if it is to move higher. Last time prices did this, they managed to get to 89 from this high to this low, and as they approach this level they then reverse, and this is what I was just talking about with regards to the Dow Jones. So these are the new sets of fibs. Keep an eye on these if prices continue to move to the upside, and if they reverse and move down in the futures market, in the cash market, watch for yesterday's low, because then it leaves it free to move down to these other fibs that we have drawn on the chart there. And on the overnight DAX, let's have a look. We can see that the market traded down to the 13,900. A lot of volume there, sort of climatic volume, and then the market doing its retracement back to the DP level and then managing to move off this. Moving quite well actually, a lot of volatility overnight here. You can see there's a 100-point move there, and then prices drifting lower. So let's just compress all of this up and have a look, see where we are. And move the chart over so we can see where we are in the bigger picture. So down to the DP, off this, over the 200, and then the market stopping at the 14,000. So we know there's resistance at 14,000 here. That's important. And also the previous day high is obviously going to give this market some grief. We're about 70 points up to the yesterday's high and the R1, and then down to the close and the DP, more or less the same as well. Let's just squeeze this up a bit more, and you can see how far away we are to the low, which we've just looked at in the daily chart. So down to the low is over 150 points. So the DAX coming up really well yesterday. So this is where we are. In order to take out to yesterday's high, we need to move up around 70 points down towards the DP as well, probably just a bit less. But they're the sort of targets that you want to be looking at once the future's open. We've also got the news at 7 a.m. as well, which is out in about 10 minutes time as I record this. So they're the targets. Get through the high, we've got the R2 up here, but if we take out the DP, then we've got this move down to here as well. Like I say, even just from this blue one is 100 points to the next blue, and then 150. Of course, you've got to break the DP, and that's going to be the killer. But from the DP down is 100 points there on the downside if there is any potential weakness, and the same on the upside moving towards the R2 as well. So yesterday, actually, just before I do this, let's just have a look at the 10-year yield. This is still moving to the upside, 1.364. But if we look over the last 5 days, we've just got a bit of a pullback here because we have been as high there as 138.3 or 138.3. So again, still moving to the upside, and even on the overnight back at the 1364 there. News today, we've got claimant count change for the UK. That's at 7 a.m. That will be out of the way, and then Powell is testifying at 3 p.m. So keep an eye on this one in the afternoon session there. So let's have a look at the silver market before we have a look at yesterday's. Let's cover everything and review of what's going on. So yesterday, silver managing to move dramatically to the upside, and it was a fascinating morning as well. I'm just going to scroll back, and you'll see how they tried to slam the price of silver down here, and then immediately it reversed and came back. Now we had a bit of a retracement down to here, and we've got a cluster of volume here where they bought back into the market, and then you can see that through the morning, and then just as the COMEX opened, they slammed the price once more, and then they bought back immediately in the following bar, which this particular bar's low is also greater than the bar where they slammed it. So immediately they managed to buy back into this, and then you see that silver continued to move throughout the day and actually traded through the 28 level where it's currently trading at the moment, and it looks like they've managed to bring it back again, because when I was looking at this before recording, they were trying to move it to the downside. So it again is found support at the 200 MA. It is incredibly important that they hold above this 28 bar moving average, 28 psychological level, the BRN. As you can see here, they bought in again this morning. Not so much here, so I don't know whether they're just retesting to see if anybody wants to sell, or the fact that there are no buyers left, then they're going to move it through here. But tomorrow is delivery day for the March futures contract, and this is very unnerving for me, because normally they slam the price down so they can buy silver a lot cheaper. So why did it go through $28 yesterday is the question. Like I say, this is not normal. Not in nearly 30 years of looking at the silver market. This is not something that is what normally happens. They like to slam the price down, buy back cheaper for delivery, if there is anything for delivery, of course. There is no 1,000-ounce bars around at the moment until next month. But we'll see what happens. But I'm not optimistic about getting back to this high. Certainly not today. That would be one hell of a move if that were to be the case. But never say never in the silver market. But for me, all I wanted to do is to hold the $28 level, which at the moment it's looking like that could be a tall order, even though I say we can see them buying back at 3:15 a.m. Earlier today, but you still see this weakness here at the moment as it comes back and keeps having a look at the 28 level there. Did it? Oh yeah, and again here it came back through just after midnight as well. Again, you can see massive volume, so they're keen to hold at the 28 level there once they got through. So who knows? Who knows? It will certainly be an interesting day because there is the biggest delivery contracts as well on the COMEX. So things are hotting up in the silver market once more. Okay, that will do it for a roundup of yesterday and what to look for today in the silver market and also in stocks. Let's have a quick look through yesterday's trades. And we had that weakness when I was recording yesterday, and I also highlighted that the low would be an area where they would likely send prices down, 100 down or 100 up. Well, we got both yesterday. The market immediately moving lower, and when it was moving lower, I picked the low from 10th of February, drew a line across, and that gave us this 27 level. And you will see as we get back there, the market traded straight down to that 27 and then found some support and managed to hold at this level, albeit temporary. And as soon as it traded back up to 89%, the market started to struggle. We had a potential short and the market then moved lower. And of course, as we get to the 27 level, I decided to take the money off the table because of it being a major support from the daily charts, and this turned out to be the case as prices, you can see there, huge volume coming in and holding the market initially, but then no, they came back in and tried to sell it further, and eventually they moved prices down to the BRN, where we then see them buying back in. You can see how much volume is in this bar compared to the previous bar, and then you'll see this if I move forward. You'll see the market then testing at the BRN. You've got the green volume bar there. And then prices trade sideways. They put in a retracement. They trade up to 38% and then come back to 78. So they've gone up to 38, which is here. And that's from this high to this low. So prices reverse and then they come back and look at the 78% retracement. So you get that classic Elliott wave type of approach. So I just had to reload the chart at this point, and you'll see prices then starting to move to the upside. We had some news and then prices just continued to move back up, and you can see that once we got through this area here where the buying is, prices continued to move higher. Now I'm just going to switch to the chart because I was chatting to somebody yesterday and they said they had a signal and I didn't have it on my charts, but on reloading, this is the signal they were on about, and again you can see that prices moved higher. They traded up to 89% of this high to this low as well, which is where we'll take up now in the recorded version. You'll see there we've got the 89 there. So prices reversed, moved up, traded to the 89 there, and then prices drifted back down. So you've got this potential weakness at the 89% retracement there. And then that was the morning session as prices started to move back to the upside. It's continued to do so after 10 a.m. which you can see there. So having come back down and sat on the S1 there, you can see how prices were sideways back through the 20 bar, and off we go once more. Now in the afternoon, this wasn't mentioned in the news yesterday, but Lagarde was speaking for an hour, which is all you need. It's bad enough when she speaks for 30 seconds, but she was speaking for an hour yesterday when the market opened in the afternoon session. and prices moving up. There were quick profits if you were in this, as you never know what she's going to say or what the market's actually going to do. So it was a matter of trying to make some sort of a judgment call on what she was maybe going to say. Anyway, prices started to get into a bit of a sideways move. It did manage to break through the DP and through the BRN, which you'll see in just a moment. The prices came back to the 5 bar, sat on the high that we got to the left, which I've drawn in here, and then we do manage to say just sneak through the BRN, and then we're hit with further potential weakness. And you can see there's a lot of potential weakness here as the market moved to the upside. However, having brought the market off those lows in the daily chart at the 27 and just below at the next BRN that we saw in the morning session, prices attempted to move higher, and then when we got a short, we know that they want the market on the highs. It's going to be a tall order to actually get any sort of profitable short here, and you can see that prices are retracing at 38%, which is where the entry price is, but they make no headway to the downside. And you can also see at this point as well, we've got a lot more volume in this bar than the bar that drives down to give the signal. So immediately they were buying back, and the same here. So it was a case of either take a small loss or wait and see if the market took the trade out, or you got a new buy signal. But I decided to exit stage left, because if Lagarde's been speaking, she's probably been offering money on the table as ever. And here you can see prices reversing, coming back immediately. Again, this is probably something that she said in order to drive prices like this, is something that she's mentioned. Prices move back to the upside there, try to go back to the resistance to the left, and then immediately they hit a brick wall. You've got that potential weakness here, and following, prices once again try to move to the downside. And we saw what happened last time prices attempted to do this. So we got a we've got a sell signal, but it contained within this, we've got a 62% retracement from this low to this high, and prices have come off the low at this level as well. So they trade sideways, and again you'll see the market moving lower, but failing to get to the scalp, because we've got the this low here where we saw buying, this low here where Lagarde must have said something, and again you see an increase in volume. Bar is narrower at this level here at 13,930. So all of these things combined, it's a case of get out, and or if not, move the stop to break even if you can. And that sort of ended the afternoon session. So Lagarde ruining the afternoon, to be honest with you, even though prices moved up. Then it was a case of the market was reacting to what she was actually saying. Okay, that will do it for this one. If there is anything else to report, I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.